Hi Ori buddies, Hassan here from Ori Exam Buddy, and in today's video we are going to be looking at the financial soundness requirements which FSPs need to maintain in order to remain fit and proper. Stay tuned and let's go. The financial soundness requirements for FSPs in order to remain fit and proper. So I've got a table presented on my screen now, and you'll notice that there are various tabs. I just want to go through each of them to make it a lot easier to understand. You'll notice that on the left hand side we have got the different categories of financial service providers. So you've got the category 1 FSP, a category 1 and 4 FSP, a category 2 FSP, as well as a category 2A and category 3 FSP. Then on the horizontal axis, we've got the general asset requirement, we've got the additional asset requirement, we've got whether there is a working capital requirement per FSP, and then the liquidity requirement. So let's look at the category 1 FSP, those that do not hold any clients' funds. Their general asset requirement is that their assets need to be greater than their liabilities. They do not have an additional asset requirement, neither do they have a working capital requirement and also a liquidity requirement. So from a financial soundness perspective, a category 1 FSP is the simplest to maintain, as there are a lot less requirements involved. Then you get to the next category, where the general asset requirement is as well assets greater than liabilities. That is the same for all of the different FSPs. Again, it does not have an additional asset requirement. However, it does have a working capital requirement which states that the current assets need to be greater than the current liabilities. Then we've got the liquidity requirement. The liquidity requirement says that the liquid assets needs to be equal to 4 weeks of annual expenditure, which means that that's how much they need to have in terms of liquid assets. Then we get to a category 2 FSP. Again, there are assets. The assets must be greater than their liabilities. Again, they also don't have an additional asset requirement. Their current assets need to be greater than their current liabilities. And then their liquid assets actually need to equal 8 weeks of annual expenditure, which means that they need to have more liquid assets as opposed to 4 weeks, as opposed to none, if we looked at the previous categories. Then you've got category 2A and category 3. Again, assets need to be greater than liabilities. The assets need to be greater than liabilities by 3 million. So there's an additional asset requirement. The current assets need to be greater than current liabilities, and the liquid assets need to equal 13 weeks of annual expenditure. So category 2A and 3 FSPs have the most stringent requirements from a financial soundness perspective, as these are FSPs that have a lot more responsibilities when it comes to dealing with clients. I hope you found this helpful. Stay tuned for future videos and continue to like and comment on all of my content. Thank you so much. Bye bye.